So why he was recruiting people forcefully into the French army? Because he wanted to expand his territory, है ना? He was very ambitious leader and he always wanted to expand his territory. First of all, he wanted to be the leader of the entire France, then entire Europe, and then entire world. So already he has become the emperor of the entire France. Now he wanted to be the leader of the entire Europe. So how he will be the leader of the entire Europe? By capturing over others' land, है ना, others' country. And for that he need large army, and for that purpose only he was recruiting people into the French army. But it was forceful recruitment. People were not willing. Then also Napoleon Bonaparte was recruiting them into the French army forcefully. Sometimes people are very happy doing farming as a worker, but he was recruiting them into the French army, and then he was sending to the foreign country, go and fight, and if you are dying, he don't have to care about it, fine. So that is why this particular policies of the Napoleon Bonaparte became very unpopular. And you must think also that when you are attacking on foreign country, on others country, then they will become your friend or they will become your enemy. So the common answer is that they will become your enemy, and that is why over the period of time Napoleon Bonaparte has made so many enemies also, and these all enemies have attacked Napoleon Bonaparte in this Battle of Waterloo, है ना? So remember, Battle of Waterloo took place between Napoleon Bonaparte, who was representing France, and the enemy countries who was not happy with the expansion policy of Napoleon Bonaparte, fine. So here one side we have the France, and other side we have the group of countries who are known as BRAC. So here France was represented by Napoleon Bonaparte, as you all know. Here BRAC full form is Britain, Russia, Austria and Prussia. Once again I am repeating: Britain, Russia, Austria and Prussia. These all four countries were monarchic countries. What I said, these all four countries were monarchic countries, and this all and here since Napoleon Bonaparte was not coming from any royal family, that is why Napoleon Bonaparte will be called as dictator, fine. So here the people were monarchic, and here Napoleon Bonaparte was dictator. Napoleon Bonaparte was trying to capture our others' land, that is why these people wanted to teach lesson to the Napoleon Bonaparte, and they attacked on France in this Battle of Waterloo, fine. And ultimately you can see four big countries are there, on other side only France is standing. So finally who will win? Very simple guessing work is there. So who will win? This BRAC won, and France defeated in this particular battle. And once France defeated, but remember the Napoleon Bonaparte, who was representing France, he lost the battle, he lost his kingdom, but he has not died. He left this particular place, and he went to one particular island which is called as Saint Helena Island, and in Saint Helena Island finally he will die in 1821 through natural death. Okay, remember. So this is something which is very, very important. Before Battle of Waterloo, one more battle took place, which is also called as Battle of Leipzig. So Battle of Leipzig took place in 1813, in which Napoleon Bonaparte also in that battle also he lost, but that is not that much important, because although he lost, but he could the loss could not affect Napoleon Bonaparte that much. But here in this Battle of Waterloo, which took place in 1815, after getting defeat here, the entire rule of Napoleon Bonaparte was finished in France, and he has to leave his country, and he went to Saint Helena Island, and there he will die in 1821. So till now I think picture is very much clear. After that, the next very important part is here we will see the next very, very important part here is this all country will not leave France easily. So this particular country will impose some treaties over this particular France, fine. These treaties I'll write here. Treaty. What is the meaning of treaty? Treaty means agreement. What is the meaning of treaty? Treaty means agreement, and this treaty took place in the place which is called as Vienna. Okay, Vienna, fine. So this treaty took place in Vienna, and this is also called as Treaty of Vienna. Understood, na? the treaty in which BRAC has imposed penalties over the France, and this particular treaty or agreement is known as Treaty of Vienna, and this took place in Vienna. Where is Vienna? Vienna is in Austria. Okay, so this you must remember. Where is Vienna? Once again I am repeating, Vienna is in Austria. One more thing I just want to tell you that this particular agreement or meeting was this particular agreement where it was happening now. So this entire meeting has been conducted by Austrian Chancellor, whose name was Duke Metternich, है ना? So Duke Metternich, you always remember, this particular Treaty of Vienna has been conducted by Duke Metternich. Duke Metternich. I am writing especially his name Duke Metternich. Why? Because he has given some famous statement which became very popular, and in board examination this particular statement comes that who has given this statement. Like suppose one example I am giving to you. When France sneezes, the rest of the European catches the rest of the Europe catches cold. So this famous statement has been given by Duke Metternich. Duke means prince. What is the meaning of Duke? Duke means prince. D-U-K-E Metternichs. So Duke Metternich is a very famous personality, and later when I will tell you here, so his statement I'll use, and you must remember his name, है ना? And his statement always comes in board examination. Okay. Now the next very important topic is what are the provisions, what are the points within the Treaty of Vienna. So this also comes in examination that explain Treaty of Vienna, and you have to explain all the points. So here you all know, first one is Treaty of Vienna took place in 1815, and it took place between two very important groups. One is France only alone is standing, and the second one is BRAC, that is Britain, Russia, Austria and Prussia. So Britain, Austria, Russia and Prussia, they all four countries have imposed penalty on France. So the first very important penalty was that in France the monarchic system will restore. You all know right now dictatorship was going on. Napoleon Bonaparte was dictator. So now dictatorship will over, and what will start? Democracy will not start. What will start? Monarchic system will start. Why monarchic system? Because these all four countries are monarchic countries. So they will bring back a monarchic system only. Fine. So monarchic system was restored in France, and you all remember in class 9th if you have seen properly. So in France they were having one very royal family which was known as Bourbon family, है ना? So Bourbon dynasty was restored, and here the king who will represent France from 1815 and the name of the king will be Louis XVIII, not 16 na bhai. Louis XVI was there in French Revolution of class 9th, and he died in 1793. Okay, now here we will see Louis XVIII. So Louis XVIII will be the king of France from 1815 to 1824, and from 1824 one new king will be there who will be Charles X. Why Charles X will come? Because Louis XVIII will die in 1824, है ना? So after his death, new king will be there, that is Charles X. Okay, so Charles X will represent France till 1830. Why? Because in 1830 in France what will happen? July Revolution will happen, है ना? So once again I am repeating first point. Once again I am repeating. The first point is dictatorship ended in France, monarchic system started in France. So monarchic system means the rule of king, है ना? So who was king? King will be first, king will be from 1815 to 1824 will be Louis XVIII, and in 1824 he will die. That is why who will replace? Charles X, and Charles X will be the king from 1824 to 1830. Why till 1830 only? Because in 1830 July Revolution took place in France, in which Charles X has to abdicate from his post, है ना? So remember till 1830 only. Fine. After that, which dynasty will come in France? Which particular royal family will be there? So remember the name of the royal family. The name of the royal family was Bourbon family, Bourbon dynasty. Fine, you all know about it. So this is the first point, that is very famous point. Now the second one is, first point is basically the most important point. Now the second point is, now France cannot do expansion, and to stop their expansion in the boundary area now, the boundary of the France were limited, so that the France later in future cannot do further expansion. For example, in the border area of France, they have set up in north, like for example I am telling you Belgium. So if you will see in European map now, So just on top of France, you have the Belgium. So they have set up Belgium over the France, so that France cannot extend its particular boundary in North area. Similarly, they have set up some countries in the south, some countries in the east, and some countries in the west, so that the boundary of the France were limited and they cannot do further expansion. Fine. The third very important point is all the territory which has been annexed by the France under the leadership of Napoleon Bonaparte will be returned. Okay, means they will lost, or they will lose all the particular territory what they have won under the leadership of Napoleon Bonaparte. And the fourth one is the winning countries will get some particular territories as they have won the battle. So for example, Russia has got the part of Poland, the Prussia has got the part of Saxony, and as well as the Austria has got the part of North Italy. So remember, once again I am repeating, Austria has got the part of North Italy. So when I'll explain you about this one, that is unification of Italy na. So here North Italy, remember, so North Italy who will capture? Austria, है ना? So this you must remember na. In Treaty of Vienna, the North Italy part has been given to Austria, and here I'll ask you that who was controlling North Italy? So North Italy will be controlled by Austria. I hope till here picture is clear. So this is all about this Battle of Waterloo and Treaty of Vienna. I wanted to tell you. From here now, 1815 to 1830, I'll tell you about the society, conservatives, liberals, and Zollverein. So this is very interesting, है ना? So far one very short recap. So far we have seen the French Revolution. After French Revolution, democracy came in France, which could not last for more time because of lack of experience. They were fighting with each other, and this particular lack of strength, lack of unity were taken advantage by Napoleon Bonaparte, and Napoleon Bonaparte dismissed democratic setup in France and started dictatorship, है ना? And when he became the emperor of France, he brought two very important civil code he brought, that is also called as Napoleonic Code, which was having two sides, positive as well as negative, that I have already told you. Biggest problem of the Napoleon was his over ambition, and he always wanted to expand his territory. That is why by the passage of time he made so many enemies such as Britain, Russia, Austria, and Prussia, and that is why these enemy countries attacked on France, and this is famously called as Battle of Waterloo. Waterloo is the name of place which is in Belgium. Okay, so obviously one country versus four countries, so this particular group of four countries will win the battle, and France lost the battle. And after getting defeat, this BRAP has imposed penalty over France through one treaty which is called as Treaty of Vienna. Treaty of Vienna took place in Vienna, that is in Austria, and Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich has conducted the entire meeting, and the provisions just now I have explained to you. After that, now I'll explain to you about this period, that is 1815 to 1830. Although some particular period like Zollverein you can include in 1834 also, but since 1834 is all about the age of revolution, so I have included all the revolutions and some ideologies and movement. Okay, so Zollverein is related to this liberalism, that is why I have included here Zollverein, है ना? So one by one I'll tell you about each and everything, that is from 1815 to 1830. What happened, I'll explain you everything in detail. So let's start this. So first of all, you see here, that is society. Fine. So society of the entire Europe now was not based on equality, because some people were extremely rich and maximum people were extremely poor. The people who were extremely rich, they were called as aristocrats, है ना? So aristocrats are the upper class people who are extremely rich, and their number was less, their power was very high, they were completely dominating the entire European society. Whereas on the other side, the peasants were there, whose number was very high, large, but their power was very less, and they were neglected part of the European society. Fine. Over the period of time when the industrialization started in European countries as well as France and other parts of the Europe, so this industrialization given good profit to some section of the society, such as businessmen, traders, and merchants. And these businessmen, traders, and merchants, when they got huge profit from the industrialization, so they have invested their money in education, in gaining more ideas, new ideas, and this particular community only, later they will establish new strong middle class, है ना? So this new strong middle class will only do the revolution. Later we will discuss about that also. Fine. So